Hey sweethearts, it's Rowan, and there we go. So here's, a bunch of things that I got from the post office over the last few days, including my latest procurements from Crazy Wisdom. So this would be a golden spiral patch that I got from Oakthorn Studios, who've made this patch here for me. This would be the Addams Family motto from the films. We gladly feast on those who would subdue us. So I think that was shown a bit more explicitly in my other thing. But I'm sitting on the chartreuse jacket. I'm not sure which jacket I'm going to put that on. Like, do I want to put that here, or do I want to put the Echo and the Bunnymen here? Or do I want to put that on this one, or do I want to save it for my overalls? Sorry about that. I've got psoriasis that's breaking out on my elbows. So, you know what? Let's go to the So this is another book that I ordered, and this came from Wordery. They're a third-party seller on Amazon. So, yeah, their little jobby is Wordery. Like I said, I got them as a third-party Amazon seller because I had Amazon gift cards saved up. And they also threw in this, this bookmark with it. Oh. So we've got a little Harper Lee quote with the birdie and happy reading and the wordery thing. And this is a short story anthology in the Wraithu Mythos series. No, it does not list them here, so let's see. Paragenesis, Para-Imminence, Para-Anomalia, and this one's Para-Kindred, and Paraspectral just came out. So I think it's just 5 right now. This would be Para-Kindred, Enigmas of the Wraithu. I'm not entirely sure what they mean by that, but like I said, I've already been sucked into this series. Might as well, like, collect all the books for the sake of completeness, and, sort the rest. Oh, we've got a list here. Okay, that's not a complete... Oh, yeah, Paragenesis, Para-Imminence. Okay, so this would be the third in the series of short story anthologies. Okay, so this is just... it's like speculative, it's like meta-speculative fiction, basically. So, anything that, various authors have, thought might be weird and wonderful to explore within the world building. And so I decided to go cash out some of, in a way, so at Crazy Wisdom, if you are from the area, this is good information to know. If you are not from the area, I don't think this translates to any online sales they make. But, so at Crazy Wisdom, if you don't already know, and you are local, and so this would be relevant to you, you are offered, being one of their frequent buyers, which I am under, first and just like a singular form of the last name, which is McElroy. And so they changed it a couple years ago, and I remember being a little bit annoyed at that, because it used to be every 100 you'd get either $5 or $7 off your next purchase, but now it's every 200 you get $10 off your next purchase. So either they didn't tell anybody, or I had changed emails since I first signed up, and they weren't able to contact me that way. So yeah, like every $200 you get $10 off your next purchase. No, you can't roll that over, like you would with a classic punch card kind of thing, which, no, I'm not looking for the punch card for the aquarium store. So I decided to go cash some of that out today, and I picked up do we have... No, you just have bulk crystals on there. So this is a blue Chalcedony. I think that's how it's pronounced. Did they give me the little card with it? Is it in here? That would be nice. So that... No, they tossed the little card. So, this is just beautiful, and it is a very... Let me see. Does this help? Not flipping you off. We see it is a very... Seriously? We're going to be that bright? Oh, what the hell ever. So we can see, really... Okay, so it looks almost white, basically, but it is a very pale blue. Is that a little better? Let me know if this is better. I'm not going to adjust with any kind of various lighting filters like I often do, just so that you can see what very pale color is on this. I really love this. I know exactly which deity shelf this is going to go on. In fact, I've been eyeing that for the last week since the Witch's Night Out. It's the second Tuesday of every month. That is when there's the Witch's Night Out at Crazy Wisdom, second Tuesday of every month. I was there last week, and I saw this here, and I saw this there, and I thought, okay, if I make a sale through my Art Fire shop, then I will go and pick that up with some of my, well, not just some of, because this went over the price of that. So I had $10. This was $17. So I figured, okay, I'll go cash out my frequent buyer dollars when I make a sale. I did make a sale. I technically made a sale, so I figured might as well stay on the good side of whatever household spirits and whatnot really want me to have that for Mikala there. And speaking of various practicing stuff with pagan-y stuff, so I also picked up a calendar. I had yet to buy a wall calendar this year. I was actually kind of debating whether or not I even wanted a wall calendar, because at the end of the day, I use the date books more, and I already have a date book which I got last time I made purchases at Crazy Wisdom, which was on the 3rd of the month, when I got my cobalt calcite, which is just, oh god, this is beautiful. This is such a beautiful rock. And I should do a video on all of my rocks before I put them in the cabinet. I guess I could do them after I put them in the cabinet, but what's the fun in that? So, I realized last week that I tend to use, at the end of the day, I use this far more often. Up until May, I would go, of this year, which I know, it's October now, right? I would usually go and, so at the beginning of the month, or, the last week of the, ending month, so previous to, what, do I need to move that? Cat, here. I know bags are great fun. Here, play with it there, it makes a little bit less noise. So I would usually go through with my date book, and and this is just the one for next year, so, because I'm too lazy to go back to my backpack, which is just right here even. No, it's over there. That's the shopping bag. So I would go through and I would put in everything for the upcoming month from, that I'd already scheduled for, and, write in things for the ending month, just so I have a big at-a-glance thing to go back and look on my year and think, oh, wow, look at all the things I've done. But see, I hadn't even flipped this since June, honestly. So I'm thinking, so I was going to go through sometime this week and just, fill in everything that I haven't yet. And I was thinking, okay, will this be my last year I have a wall calendar? And then I saw this at Crazy Wisdom, and I figured, okay, I can just about skirt my cat food budget this Friday. I've got enough to last in the area of a week as far as wet cat food, you know, marketed as wet cat food goes. This Friday, my EBT balance renews, and I will... Why did I just take that? Oh, right, I was going to show you some pictures. So, this Friday, my EBT with my food assistance renews, and I'm like, okay, I can get, like, a big tin of salmon, or, you know, like a few small, you know, like, tins of tuna or chicken, and use that as cat food, you know, if I have to. So, you know, I have a plan. I also know about random acts of pet food on Reddit. I'm on Reddit a little bit more than I am on Facebook. Usually just reading and lurking. It's like, it's kind of replaced Usenet as far as, you know, like, functionality goes. And it kind of has a similar audience. Like, you know, there's a lot of shit posting, a lot of completely pointless seeming subs, like, Alt Swedish Chef, Bork Bork Bork. Do you remember that? Alt Icelandic singer, Björk Björk Björk. Does anybody else remember those Usenet groups? I do. So, but then I saw this, and this is Lunaria, and it says Lunar Astrology, but it is basically a lunar calendar, and as far as my pagan practices go, I am still rather Hellenic in many aspects, as far as, like, you know, my preferred methods of practice goes. And if you remember, I do, when I was predominantly Hellenic, I worked with the Ocean calendar, which, where the beginning of the year is the first new moon after the winter solstice. At least that is what I was able to reconstruct to, you know, as well as it can be with the information available to me. So this calendar, it's basically a lunar moon phase calendar. I don't know why they say lunar astrology here, because reading this on the back, it says, okay, the moon shows us... Whoa. That's a bit in my face. The moon shows us there always comes a time for self-renewal and new beginnings. Okay, so that's kind of corny, but, you know, you gotta appeal to the cornballs when it comes to pagan-y kind of stuff, right? Who publishes this? Oh, Amber Lotus. For some reason, I thought this might have been, I don't know why I thought it was a Thlethun thing. It looks nothing at all like their stuff. If only because they often get their own artists for their stuff, right? Yeah, I'm not the only one who's noticed that. So let's see. The Lunaria is the perfect instrument to help us realize the power effects that the moon, planets, and seasons have on us. More aware, we can increase our ability to consider our actions, understand our emotions, and plan for the future. Okay, so this is taking some astrological kind of aspects to it, in a sense. Make use of the Lunaria to help predict the best times for particular endeavors. In the Lunaria, you will find that the waning moon multiplies efforts to detoxify and Wait, what? Okay, that's coming out of nowhere as far as my experiences go. The moon in Taurus enhances creative pursuits. The moon in Virgo helps make chores easier. And the moon in Libra is a good time for planting flowers and hosting social gatherings. Okay, I am familiar with that from some of the astrology things that I know. The new moon is a good time to begin new projects or quit unwanted activities, and I did know that. That is something very tied in with the Hellenic calendar, with Hellenic polytheists. In fact, you will see. It's fairly common with the Hellenic polytheists that I have known and, you know, like, worked with either just, like, through blogging or through research and all that. It's a very common practice, though I can't remember if this is something that is, you know, like, particular to ancient practices, or if this is just something that you know, came up through modern reconstruction. there are some things that are just like that. Like when you were practicing, when you were practicing polytheist, like in the like Reconstructionist kind of community that I was. I was a strict Hellenist for almost 10 years, and you get to a point where it's hard to remember. Is this like ancient research? Or is this something that the community of Hellenists just started doing organically? Like, is this something that came up because, we divined it as, kind of a group activity or, whatnot, and it just is something that we just started doing? So yeah, like, I should do something about some misconceptions about polytheistic reconstruction, because it's a common practice amongst Hellenic polytheists that the 3 darkest days of the moon, which would be the last day of the waning crescent, the new moon, what is like properly referred to, and the first day of the waxing crescent, where that would be like a day where, you do like a whole shit ton of cleaning on the last day. New moon is the Noamunea, with where you honor Hecate, and she's the primary one for the Noamunea, and then the first day of the waxing crescent, waxing crescent. So that would be like a day when you like get together things to start various things. That's a very common thing amongst Hellenists, at least, just because our calendars, and there are different regional calendars for Hellenists. Like I said, mine was Viocian, so the year began after the winter solstice. Most follow on Attic calendar, or Athenian calendar, you see a lot of people calling it. I think it was the dominant calendar throughout Attica, but, so their New Year, I want to say it begins after the summer solstice, or maybe just before the summer solstice. So yeah, like, the big thing here that I really wanted was, that it is a proper lunar calendar. So, we see that the calendar itself begins with January 5th, which is the new moon day, where there is, like, with all of your various instruments and telescopes, you don't get a good feel for it in the city. Like I am, it's technically a city. It's got enough light pollution to count as a city. But, so yeah, like I said, so this would be the new moon day. So that would be like, the darkest possible phase of the moon. Whereas, like, if you're in a city and you've got, telescopes to help you see better, or if you're in, in a dark sky area, or at least far enough out into the country that, you can see like the little sliver of a crescent on the waxing and waning. So, okay, and it also has the because this is something that I definitely was kind of curious about, but at the same time I'm like, okay, I can adjust for that, because like I said, the important thing is that it's a lunar calendar, but it does have the it does seem to have, at least going with Imbolc for February 1st, and oh, it's got this little character on the full moon days. I don't know why, other than that it's fun, but, that's cute. Okay, so we do have the equinoxes marked, equinoxes and solstices. So that's an important thing to mark. So let's see. So it looks like it does have the, okay, May Eve. I'm not sure what traditions want to know about that. And, okay, summer solstice. Okay, there was something else I was looking for. Was it... Okay, May Eve. So let's go back to here. Okay, it doesn't have it marked, okay, then what the hell do they have Imbolc marked for if they're not going to mark, Biltan? Hi! I love you too! Okay, okay, we've got llamas here. Okay, what are they doing then with that? That's the $64 question, if you ask me. Okay, we've got autumnal equinox, and okay, and let's. Okay, we've got. Oh, that's cute and like pseudo older English All Hallows Inn. I'm like, okay, just. Oh, and we do have the 13th. Okay, so it's got 13 months on here. Oh, this did not have any indication of this, and I did not figure out from weight alone that it was a larger thing. Oh, okay, I'm going to show you these things. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. So we've got using Lunaria, and I can read this from my phone. So let's say each page depicts a complete lunation. Okay, that's what they're calling a moon cycle. So let's see, we've got the little symbols and all that for the days of the week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and we've got TIWTW, Norse deity of law and warfare, day of Mars, action, Thor, Freya's day, Norse goddess of love, and Saturn, that actually like comes from the Roman deity. For some reason, that's the one that stuck around. Those two, Sunday and Monday, got translated to English. And there is a story behind why Saturday is in what's that called? In the Roman deity. So okay, sample day, February 14th. Oh, this is where it explains things. Okay, traditional date, holiday or observance. Oh, that's why it's a sample day. Moon's rise and set time. Okay, moon's rise and set times. So we've got the little symbol up there, which doesn't coincide with any of these. So we've got a little symbol, V/C, 8:10 a.m., and we go moon's place in the tropical zodiac. Okay, including void of course times, moon sign follows... Moon sign follows, rise set times, when in the same sign all day, listed as V/C, when void of course lasts entire day. 5, lunar aspects, okay. 6, we've got first quarter 12:22. 6 is moon quarter phase times. 7, perigee, apogee, perihelion, aphelion. Perigee, apogee, perihelion, aphelion. Because the moon's orbit is elliptic, there is a point in each cycle when the moon comes closest to Earth, increasing its gravitational pull by up to 6%. This is called perigee. The point farthest is apogee. Perihelion is the closest Earth comes to the Sun in its yearly cycle. Aphelion is the farthest, which, if you know at least as much Greek as I do, which isn't a whole lot, but it's enough to know what all that meant without... Hi, kitty. Yeah, I know, I need to pick up. Okay, 8. We've got times. Oh, sunrise, sunset, so that's why it's different. Sunrise and sunset times listed on Sundays. Oh, you only list that on Sundays. That's interesting. 9. We've got some symbols and a time. Planetary aspects and sun signs. 10. Okay. Lunar and solar eclipses at time of greatest eclipse. Check local listings for visibility. Note, penumbral lunar eclipses are listed for information only and are very rarely visible. Adjusting for local time. Please note that times listed are mountain time. Have been adjusted for daylight savings time. MDT, yep, Mountain Daylight Time. For Pacific Time, subtract 1 hour. Oh, I just said all this. Central Time, add 1 hour. Eastern, add 2. For Universal Time, add 7 hours. Universal. Oh, Universal Time is Greenwich Time. Okay, so, and, let's see. Solar divided into 8 equal sections. In bulk. Oh, that's why they marked it for this kind of thing. Spring equinox. Okay, so they went with, some, you know, okay, so they did the equinoxes, the solstices, and I think what they, oh, yeah, the, Breed Candlemas celebrates, yeah, Lunaria, that's in Gaelic, celebrates Earth's pregnant phase and first harvest. Okay, so, I think the, generic term is cross-quarter days, when we're talking, like, in between the equinoxes and solstices. Okay, yeah, Samhain, Day of the Dead. It's not exactly Day of the Dead, but close enough. Let's see, Milton was Purisnach. Okay, Zodiac of the Body. That's going to be interesting to know. Planets of the Palm. Okay, so we've got a little basic palmistry sort of jobby here for reference. The moon signs. Okay, gardening with the moon signs. With moon in Aquarius. Barren and dry. Oh, okay, so when the moon is in Aquarius, not a good time for planting. Oh, okay, I see what they're trying to say with this part here. Oh, so when the moon is in these things, there's your gardening advice here. Gardening, Nigel, bud. You playing with the bag? Yes. Gardening with moon phases. Okay. Oh, that's, I've known about that. That's an old thing that goes back centuries. People gardening in time with phases of the moon, fishing, animal behavior, and the sun and the moon. I'll take a look at that later. Let's see, Luna and her phases. Oh god, this is gonna be kind of cheesy, isn't it? Like I said, to pay the bills, you gotta appease the cheese balls, right? Her phases. The moon is about 1/4 the size of the Earth, which is very large for a satellite. It has about 1/6 the gravity of Earth, which is not enough to hold its own atmosphere. Without atmosphere, blah, 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 blah. The moon completes a spin on its axis every 27.33 days, and takes the same period of time to orbit Earth. Therefore, we always see the same face of the moon. I knew that. That's what really bothers me about that episode. I think it's the second episode of Futurama, is that, they're just like, oh, the moon, the night lasts 2 weeks on the moon, and I'm like, no, because if you're on the light facing side, it's not going to turn. The moon, like, we are literally always seeing the same side of the moon, because that is the side that's always light. So let's say the sun is right here, or no, let's say the Earth is like here, and the moon just like, and so this is the light side of the moon. It doesn't like turn like that, it turns like that, so it kind of stays stationary on its axis, and just turns around like that. So, like where the sun would be like off screen here, the moon always, like, the same side of the moon always faces the sun. And that is why I really hate the second episode of Futurama. But it's the only episode of Futurama that I really hate. Okay, so it's not totally cheesy. This looks like it's just... so this looks like it's just info on how the moon phases work. And, let's see, at the new moon phase... Moon is in alignment. Okay. This looks like it's mostly scientific here. First quarter can be seen at sunset and sets at about midnight. Okay. Okay, so we've got some info on lunar and solar eclipses. And here is a very, very pretty Doppler effect looking looking grid with the moon phases thing. Okay. Looks like toward direct sunlight. Okay. Okay, so it looks like this is generally scientific here on this page. And here we've got planetary aspects. Okay, so power supports impression. Okay, so this is just like a little reference thing to come back to. But they've got all of this on these days, right? So let's look at, okay, January 15th. So that would be with the 13th moon. Set. Okay, so there's all the little jobbies. So let's go, yep, January 2020, January 13th. Yep, those are all the little jobbies from that other page. So this is just a little reference guide for what all of that means. And here's a little planetary key reference guide. Conjunction, opposition. Ooh, that's actually like some really nice reference key there. Let's see, holidays listed in the calendar are accurate to the best of our knowledge and research. And we've got the time, environmental benefits statement. That's always nice to know, though green capitalism is still capitalism, so I'd kind of like to research a little bit more into the, what is this? Forest Stewardship Council. Okay, I did not expect this to turn into as in-depth a review as it did, but I'm kind of glad it did, and there is a cat in the bag. So, I don't know, I'm hoping I was just feeling some calendar burnout with my Erte calendars. They are lovely, and I love Erte, but I'm hoping that, oh dear, we've got some corny-ass poetry of sorts on here, don't we? Oh, yes, we do. Oh, well. Oh, Reverse Mermaid! Reverse Mermaid! Yeah, some of the art here I definitely recognize, like we've got the Ishtar, which is not pronounced Easter, for fuck's sake. And then we've got some art that I don't recognize. I have no idea who did that or how old it is. But yeah, hopefully, it, oh god. Oh, I recognize this, but I don't remember who did this painting here. I recognize it, don't remember it. Cat butt. So yeah, like, I'm hoping I was just having calendar burnout with, the Erte ones, which I was getting every year for a bit. So, like, I don't know. But yeah, like, I was originally like, oh, nice, a lunar calendar. I don't have to do it all up on my own. You know, like, I don't have to, like, make up my own lunar calendar in, I'd been using, MS Word. I'd been using MS Word, so yeah, I'd been using MS Word to, you know, just basically do it, but I'd also been, going to the, Hellenic month established per Athens, HMEPA. I can link below in the description. If I forget to, again, please remind me. So yeah, like, I would be, like, pulling out Word, and I would basically, like, update, like, the same Word document, and then, like, save as new save as different document name. So yeah, I would pull up, like, the HM, EPA, lunar calendar, you know, the Hellenic one, and I would, like, change all the names, but I would use that as my reference. So, like, I only had to change the names, like, you know, I want to say the first couple times I did it. But I would go back to all of my references. But now, no longer being exclusively Hellenic in my practices. In fact, the Hellenism is kind of taking a back seat after this really freaky-ass dream I had a little over a month ago now. Maybe 2 months. I can link that. Again, if I forget, remind me. So I had this really freaky-ass dream, and I'd kind of been thinking, you know, I can't be exclusively Hellenic anymore, and then I had this dream, and so that, like, really cemented it. So, but yeah, like, when I'd been doing my own lunar calendar, and now I'm like, okay, how the hell am I going to, you know, like, do my new lunar calendars, because the lunar calendar, as a pagan, it's really convenient, because, like, you kind of, you kind of know exactly what you're doing. Like, if you've got, like, you know, daily, you know, devotional ritual, especially, you know exactly what you're doing. You just step outside or look out the window, and you know, well, after the sun goes down anyway, you just look out the window, and it's like, oh, that's what I'm doing. But still, it's like, you know, you've got the months, and this means now I don't necessarily have to look out the window. But yeah, it's like, so yeah, like the months and all that, the month names, I would update that manually every year, and that is dedication, kids. So that children, that is piety. Like, when you're doing this manually, you know, for, like, yourself and maybe one other person who would download it from your blog. So yeah, like, so yeah, like, I would be doing that manually every year with the month names and, adjusting, like marking at least, like, the big, you know, phases, so, like, you know, new moon, first quarter, full moon, last quarter, and I would be doing this every year. Every year. I would update the new calendar, usually in November, usually October or November. But now, like I said, like, you know, any kind of Hellenism is taking a back burner. I do still like using the lunar calendar, so finding this was a great find. I hope it does me well. And I really hope they make another one for... Whoop, no, stay. And I really hope they make another one for next year, because that would be great. That would be great. I mean, it would mean that I don't have to do it all over again with the new lunar calendar. So yeah, I think that is going to wrap me up. Oh, I really don't want to move the bag. This cat is so precious. Let me do it again. Look at this little kitty. He is so precious. And that is like one of those little flat paper bags, too, that they, like, give you for magazines and, well, like, a calendar and shit. What's he doing? Murnow. Typical. He knew he was being watched, and so he stopped doing the cute thing that we were all watching him for. Yes, yes. Little Murnow. Little Murnow. Huh? You wanna go? You wanna go? Wanna go back to your bag now that we're no longer watching you? Wanna go back to your bag now that the camera is no longer on you? Do you? Do you? Are we a kitty? Yes. Okay. I don't want to move the bag, but that's kind of my spot, where it's a good spot to spread out and do my thing with the calendars that I was talking about. But, you know, I'll do that when he's done with his bag. So, other than that, I guess we're done for today's video, right? Alright, alright. Bats and kisses, my dears, and I will, you'll see me again when I make another video, and I will see you when you comment and like and subscribe and, all that other happy horse shit. Please, you know, like, subscribe, bell notifications, this, that, and the other thing. I've got other contact jobbies in the description box, like my Twitter and my Instagram, and, I need to update a couple things. My Facebook music page, that's what I need to do this weekend, is make some music, because I've got... I'm trying to schedule music video shoot. Aren't I? Yes, I am. I need to actually record the music for the music video. Okay! Once again, bats and kisses, and I love you all, and take care of yourselves.